A very pleasant good morning and welcome to the Miret Team Live right here on WPSL with Christine and Mr. Chris.
Good morning. How are you, Greg?
How are you?
Hi, Greg.
We are well. Another great week in real estate.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to you.
Let's dive right in.
Look at this guy.
Let's introduce. Let's go.
Love it.
Total respect in this room.
Oh, we have a great guest. So let's jump right into it.
We should. So, okay, I'll introduce Pete because I've known Pete for, how long do you think we've known each other? About a decade-ish?
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
At least 5-6 years.
Okay. All right. So Pete Tesh is the president of the Economic Development Council of St. Lucie County. And what that means, that sounds like a big title, and it is. It's a lot of responsibility. So he's responsible for the administration and operations of the organization while providing strategic direction for the growth and economic development of St. Lucie County, which there's a lot of growth
That's a
and
mouthful.
development. It is, and I read that right from his website. So I sounded really smart, but I'm just being honest where I got it from. So anyways, Pete is a great guy. I've worked alongside him back when I was at Gannett, and his team and him do a lot of great things for our community. And we're excited to have him here today because we're going to talk about all the growth and development that's going to take place in St. Lucie County, which, as we know, is one of the fastest growing communities. I think we've talked about this before. It's
It's in the top five.
Top five.
Yeah, in the country as far as fastest growing cities, Port St. Lucie being up there. And it's really exciting seeing the growth that is happening. And a big part of that is the Economic Development Council's bringing people in. So thank you so much for joining us, Pete. And so tell us a little bit about some of your exciting projects that you have coming into fruition.
Yes, sir. But first of all, Christine, it's absolutely delightful to be here. And Christine, it's great to see you. It has been a while. And
It's been a while.
Looks like both of you are doing great.
We are.
Thank you very much.
So
Yes.
anyway, thanks for having me on.
Sure.
To see you, I had to invite you on the show. I guess that's
Yeah,
what it takes,
I guess
huh?
so.
You're so busy.
Well, we are incredibly busy.
That's good.
I know you had my good friend and colleague Wes McCurry on recently, and
Yes, he was fantastic.
He's our senior VP at the Economic Development Council, and he's been doing great things in terms of attracting new businesses and working with our existing companies here. But yes, St. Lucie County is experiencing an economic renaissance.
Yes.
And we've seen a very, very pronounced transformation of the economy in the last 7 to 8 years.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of work to do yet.
Yep.
But it shows that working together, the public sector and the private sector, with the ultimate goal of creating quality jobs for the community,
Yes.
it can be done, and we're trending in the positive direction.
Absolutely. Seeing all the growth and the new construction that is happening, whether it be commercial or new residential developments that's happening, these people are coming in and they're staying here. I know that's a big difference from when I first started in real estate in 1995. The average sales price back then was $80,000. So a lot of people would come here to be, first buying their first home, or retirees that were here. And people buying their first home would buy here because it was affordable, but then they'd work down south, West Palm Beach, or even Fort Lauderdale. And so now we're actually having the people be able to stay here. We're a destination. They could stay here. They could spend their discretionary money here as well, which is fantastic to keep that money local, which is obviously the goal for all of us here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, just to back up a little bit to perhaps set the stage for why we're experiencing positive job growth and economic prosperity. A lot of that, as you mentioned, in terms of population and individuals moving into the community, has a lot to do with the state of Florida itself.
Yes.
So we are now the third largest state in the union, 23 million people. We have over $1 trillion economy. So if we were a sovereign nation, we would be the 16th largest economy in the world.
Unbelievable.
So
that puts it in perspective.
Can you
Isn't that
repeat
amazing?
that?
That is
Yeah.
Can you repeat
unbelievable.
that, please?
Back up on that one.
So
Wow, that's a big statement.
$1.3 trillion economy.
Wow.
And if we were a sovereign nation, if we were, the nation of Florida,
Right.
we would be the 16th largest economy in the world.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't that amazing?
That is, my jaw is literally
Yes.
on the floor, but that's so fantastic. It is a testament to how well the state has been run and is currently being run. There's a reason all these people are moving to our state, and that's a big, obviously we're
Absolutely.
starting to see those benefits.
And that has a lot to do with what we're seeing not only nationally but globally. And if you take that and we zero in on the Treasure Coast,
Yes.
in South Florida, it comprises about 65% of the population of Florida.
Sure.
So where you have this dynamic economy in Florida and in South Florida where there's no more property,
Right.
makes St. Lucie County and the Treasure Coast very, very, very attractive in terms of business costs,
Yes.
competitiveness, and just the fact that we have a lot of dirt. We
Yes.
have property that's available, and we have a population base that you mentioned, Chris. We're starting to see diversification of the economy with different industries.
Yep.
And you have very pro-growth, pro-business local governments that
Yes.
are saying yes to quality job creation,
Absolutely.
to manufacturing, distribution, logistics, healthcare,
Yes.
marine and aviation. It's all the perfect storm with
Yes.
regard to having these companies here. Either they're relocating from South Florida or other parts of Florida or the Northeast or Midwest of the United States.
Absolutely.
So it's happening.
It certainly is. And I know from the real estate perspective, we've always had a big migration from the Northeast coming down. Now I'd say what we're experiencing is about 50-50 from the South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale moving up this way, and from the Northeast coming down. And obviously we have people from all over the country moving to Florida, and why wouldn't they? But we're definitely seeing that, backing up, the real estate from what you're saying as well.
So we've had an 18% increase in population since 2016. So we're up to about 350,000 people.
That is fantastic. And that's for St. Lucie County. Yep.
For St. Lucie County alone.
Yep.
City of Port St. Lucie, depending on what statistics you now look at, is the 6th or 7th largest city in the state of Florida. So that substantiates everything that you say, Chris.
Yes.
And part of that is, we're seeing lots of different people move in, different ages,
Yes.
different locales and geography. As you mentioned, a lot of people are coming from the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Sure.
That's kind of the main area, and then right next to it is West Palm Beach.
Yep.
So that substantiates what we are seeing both on the commercial and the industrial side.
Absolutely. And seeing the big businesses moving out of cities like Chicago and, coming down here, putting their headquarters, these huge Citadel, so many huge corporations, especially in the financial hub, they're using Miami, and I know they're really trying to make West Palm Beach a hub for financial people, especially most of the CEOs are over on the island, so it's a short little commute over the bridge if they ever have to show up to work.
Well, and Dr. Jerry Parrish has talked about this at IRSC coming down to speak with his Florida scorecard. And if those numbers that he has in that scorecard are anywhere close to being accurate for Port St. Lucie, being at 750,000 people in about 30 years, it's like, oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Absolutely. We have so much room to grow. We have the land like Pete talked about earlier, which is so fantastic, where we see all this growth, but we have so much more to go. In Fort Lauderdale down south, there's no land, so if you want a waterfront home, you got to buy it, knock it down, and start up. That's a whole lot more expenses that you're putting to that bottom line.
Yeah, so last week when we talked to Wes, we talked about there's like 50,000 plotted lots west of Tradition area that we can build on.
That is correct,
That's unbelievable.
and probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just incredible to stop and think about that. And then talking about 750,000 people, I mean, the infrastructure, the roadways, all of that, like, how are we going to keep up with that growth? That's a big job, Pete. You got a big role here.
It is awesome.
It certainly
It
is.
is, and I'll tell you a little story. Dr. John Prince, the superintendent of St. Lucie Public Schools, he is part of the executive board of the Economic Development Council, and he said, Pete, why don't we get the executive board and the St. Lucie Public Schools board together, and let's hop on a bus. So last month, we met
school
at
bus?
we did not get a school bus. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
But it had been a while since I had been on a yellow school bus with regard to the equipment that they have. It's much better than I remembered,
Okay.
especially the air conditioning.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
However, what was very, very impressive was looking at all the growth that is occurring on the I-95 corridor.
Yes.
You know, you start at Becker Road and work your way north. Just tremendous growth in residential, single-family, and multifamily homes.
Yes.
Literally thousands, if not tens of thousands.
Yes.
I had heard about it. I had seen a little bit, but when you actually go see it firsthand,
Sure.
it truly is amazing. So all the way from Becker Road to Indrio Road, residential, commercial, industrial nodes all along the interchanges.
Absolutely. And seeing these buildings again, now they're starting to get close to completion. The FedEx building in the Tradition area, Cheney Brothers, and they're bringing so many jobs along with these big buildings. They have to have people in there working it, which is so exciting, you know, to have that growth and, again, to be able to have people stay here.
Well, we have 6 million square feet of industrial facilities currently underway that are either being built or in the completion phase.
Wow.
So when you look at Tradition and Southern Grove, you know, that's estimated to create somewhere between 3,300 and 5,000 jobs alone.
Wow.
And then if you look on just about every interchange on I-95, you know, there is a monument to industrial development.
Yep.
You know, Stonemont Financial is building 1 million square feet on Orange. Kings Highway, 650,000 square feet.
Yep. Yep.
And as you just kind of go down the road, if you will, all the way down past Okeechobee, Midway Road,
Yep.
And Amazon Distribution Center, and all the companies that you mentioned.
Sure.
So we do have assets. We have both industrial and office space to accommodate new and expanding businesses. So hopping on that bus
Yeah.
was really great, not only for the EDC but also the school board,
Sure.
for us to see where we are now, but also where we need to go in the future and how we need to help our young people start working on careers and jobs for the future. So
Absolutely.
that is very encouraging and exciting for us,
Yeah.
particularly having all the young people in our school system and the availability of quality jobs that, you know, if they want to work, they have a great job waiting for them.
That's fantastic.
So then what I'm, oh, sorry. Greg.
That's all right. I was just going to ask about the harbor. Have we seen plans on a future harbor in Fort Pierce?
So the key issue with the Port of Fort Pierce is director shipyards. So they, as you know, and you know, for the listeners, the county approximately 4 to 5 years ago struck a deal with director shipyards to do a yacht maintenance repair operation. They're going strong, albeit it started out a bit slow with COVID. Sure. And you know, initial starts and stops with such a huge project. So we view that as an economic engine. Their site is almost completely done in terms of infrastructure and utilities, and they're doing a lot more yachts. So that provides a great opportunity to do more yacht-related repair. Great jobs again.
Sure.
Really high-paying
Yes.
jobs, too.
So, in terms of the traditional uses of the port, we're not going to see cargo or warehousing, that type of thing. But I think the future lies with the mega yacht industry and its related sub-industry sectors.
Well, Chris's 200-footer is being dry docked right now. So, yeah,
God,
I
I
noticed
wish,
that.
Greg.
I noticed that over the weekend.
Yeah, let me know where, please.
You guys have been holding out on me.
Yeah, right.
Gosh, we could be doing this show on your yacht.
On our yacht. Soon. With all that growth and
next
development.
time, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
there
yeah.
we go. There we go for certain.
So then, maybe we could have the Below Deck reality show film here. I don't know if you're aware of that one, but they take people out on the yachts, and I heard Kylie Jenner's yacht was going to be parked there. Do you know? Is there any truth to that rumor?
I cannot confirm or deny that, Kristen.
You're the third person that said that.
Wow. That's
It sounded good at least.
Yeah,
Yes,
that makes it
absolutely.
sound like it might be true.
That's a correct answer.
I love it.
And staying in Fort Pierce, being we're talking about yachts, let's shift a little bit to the airport. Let's talk about planes, the other fun toy. Is there anything going on with the airport? I know that from what I've read that there is room for expansion. Is there any talk for expansion at this point?
So, Chris, we're really bullish on Treasure Coast International Airport, along with the marine industry sector, where we're seeing tremendous growth in boat manufacturing.
Sure.
We are seeing the equivalent in aviation.
Great.
Again, on the maintenance, repair, overhaul, there's tremendous demand for hangar facilities all across Florida.
Sure.
There aren't any.
Yep.
So we've been fielding inquiries and working with companies, along with aviation MRO, jet sales, aviation service related companies, et cetera. They want to come to Treasure Coast International Airport. Again, there's no property in the other airports surrounding that. So part of the challenge with our airport is making sure that we have ready-to-go sites. And right now we've been working with companies that want to build new hangars. So actually today we are in the process of submitting a letter of intent for a very prominent company that wants to build several hangars to do aircraft maintenance, and
Nice.
Also a fixed-based operator.
Okay.
So we just submitted that hopefully this afternoon.
Fantastic.
While you're sitting
yeah,
here doing a
yes.
radio show.
So, if you, again, kind of stepping back and looking at the big picture,
Yep.
you think of Treasure Coast International Airport and its location on St. Lucie Boulevard.
Right.
And, its proximity to Kings Highway as well as I-95. So Treasure Coast International Airport is a huge facility in terms of property.
Sure.
3,700 acres. It's actually larger than Miami International Airport.
Wow.
37 acres.
Goodness.
3,700.
And you can fit
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale Airport
Yeah.
within those grounds as well.
That's amazing.
So-
I had no idea it was
Yeah.
that much land space.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's mind-boggling. But if you think about from India Road all the way to St. Lucie Boulevard to Kings Highway to US 1,
Sure.
that pretty much comprises majority of the property at the airport. So anyway, stepping back, looking long-term, how do you connect Treasure Coast International Airport to I-95 and to the Turnpike?
Sure.
And St. Lucie County Commission has been focused on making sure that we have that infrastructure improvement to do that. Again, that's probably 10, 15 years
Sure.
out, but we're starting to see the growth there now. The county is working with the Federal Aviation Administration to extend the runway.
Okay.
Right now it's 6,400 feet. They're looking to do it at 75 or
Okay.
8,000 feet. I'm not sure exactly, but anyway, that would accommodate larger aircraft.
Right.
Okay.
Also air cargo.
Excellent.
which we have the space for, and
Yep.
then perhaps commercial air service.
That was the follow-up question.
I was hoping.
Bingo.
That would be really great.
So that's part of the planes, trains, and automobiles.
I
approach.
love
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, that's definitely
Yeah.
very exciting to know that it's even in the thought process, that the land is there, and the fact that it could fit Miami's airport in there.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that large.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
Yes.
Ironically, when Carol and I moved here from LA 30 years ago, we had a traffic director at the station, and her part-time job was working for a real estate firm that was up by the airport, and they were buying properties all around the airport. That's why it's as large as it is.
Interesting.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and you think what it is today, and really what it will become, and it will. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
When you think about it, it's probably 2 to 3 miles from downtown Fort Pierce.
Sure.
It's 15 minutes. So that really allows a lot of opportunity for the growth of downtown Fort Pierce.
Sure.
We talked about the Port of Fort Pierce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Treasure Coast International Airport has its own customs,
Okay.
and has also been designated a foreign trade zone. Going back to Director Shipyards, they've applied to the federal government to have what they call a subzone,
Okay.
which would allow importation and exportation of components and products for the fixture of those yachts.
Okay.
So anyway, you have a international port of entry at TCIA, close proximity to the port,
Yep.
downtown Fort Pierce. Those are great building blocks that make the future of Fort Pierce look quite bright.
Absolutely, and those pieces definitely connect. And with the growth of Fort Pierce, I know we talked with Deb Doherty of the Veterans Alliance, and she was saying that Fort Pierce is one of the top destinations for veterans, and they're anticipating over 100,000 veterans moving to Fort Pierce in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
wow.
They are
wow.
most welcome.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely.
Please.
Come on down.
All right, Miret Team Live continues right after Florida State News. You're listening to WPSL Radio.
Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine with the Miret team of Keller Williams Realty.
Looking for a knowledgeable and trustworthy real estate agent? Look no further than the Miret team.
With 28 years experience and over 3,000 satisfied clients, we are committed to helping you navigate the complex real estate market.
The Miret team is the perfect partner for all of your home buying and selling needs.
Contact us for a free home market evaluation or visit our website, miretteam.com. That's MIRETTEAM.
Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine with the Miret team of Keller Williams Realty.
Looking for a knowledgeable and trustworthy real estate agent? Look no further than the Miret team.
With 28 years experience and over 3,000 satisfied clients, we are committed to helping you navigate the complex real estate market.
The Miret team is the perfect partner for all of your home buying and selling needs.
Contact us for a free home market evaluation or visit our website, miretteam.com. That's MIRETTEAM.com.
We are back, Miret Team Live on WPSL with Christine and Chris and Pete. How about that?
And
About
Pete?
that, yeah. Just Pete.
Just Pete.
Just me. So, we wanted to talk about a couple listings that we have. The Miret team, I'm Christine Stonecipher. Chris Miret's with me, my partner. Miret team, Keller Williams. And we have 2 waterfront listings that we want to tell our listeners about. Sweetwater Drive, 2310 Sweetwater Drive. This is an ocean access waterfront gem of a home in a small little intimate 9-home gated community along the St. Lucie River. It's a must-see. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's priced at $799,900. Pete, do you want a waterfront property in Sweetwater?
Sounds enticing.
Well, I would love to show it to any of our listeners or you and your wife, Pete.
Yeah.
But
I'm there.
How about trading this building for that? No.
filming there, recording there would be great. But we call it plantation style. It's got this beautiful wraparound front porch, beautiful live oaks with the Spanish moss. The tiki bar in the back is just amazing. I love hanging out back there. They have a TV, a lot of seating, a bar. That's important. To some of us more than others, but nice dock with a boat lift, and it's just so quiet and peaceful. It's a must-see. So if you'd like to see my listing and Chris's listing, please reach out to one of us. You can reach me at 772-971-7111.
And you could reach me, Chris, at 772-201-9115. Another waterfront listing that we currently have is in Hidden River Estates. This is a great house. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath home, just under 3,300 square feet. This one is on about 0.55 acres, so just over half of an acre, directly on the St. Lucie River. This one's got a huge dock, 2 boat lifts, beautiful pool. It's got a tiki hut on it as well, plus a gazebo, soaring ceilings, and we have that one listed at $1.25 million. So anyone that's interested in that, please give us a call. We'd love to show you the property.
And you can always check us out at miretteam.com. That's miretteam.com. Okay, so back with our amazing guest, Pete Tesh, with the Economic Development Council of St. Lucie County. We were talking about a lot of the growth and development that's taking place in St. Lucie County. It's just mind-blowing to hear all that this county has to offer and the future plans and development coming our way. I mean, it is one of the fastest growing counties. Port St. Lucie, I think, is ranked number 5 or 6 of largest cities in the state of Florida. So just fantastic place to live, work, and play. So Pete, tell us a little bit more. We were talking before we took a break about downtown Fort Pierce, director, do I call it a shipyard?
Yeah, sure.
It's
yes, yeah.
where mega yachts are going to be parked. So tell us about the development and growth that we're going to see in downtown Fort Pierce, because we all love downtown Fort Pierce. It has one of the most beautiful inlets, I believe, that I've ever seen. And it's ready to just pop, right?
I couldn't have said it better, Christine. So, again, we're quite bullish on the city of Fort Pierce, both from a commercial and redevelopment perspective. Fort Pierce has that old Florida charm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a beautiful, visually appealing city, and you know, it's on the rise, I believe, and particularly with some major developments, King's Landing,
Yes.
the mixed-use redevelopment project, which would include a hotel, condos, townhomes, restaurants, commercial facilities, you know, all on that 7.8 acre parcel, the former H.D. King property.
Right.
Great project. You know, it's a former brownfield site. Cleaning that up and then having a, you know, economically viable development there, right on Indian River Drive.
Yes.
Is just marvelous. You know, moving to the north, Fisherman's Wharf.
Yes.
There's, you know, another opportunity for another great redevelopment project, mixed use, you know, potential boatyard, condos, restaurants, shops, etc. And then, you know, moving up north to Harbor Point, the county's property.
Right.
There's also developers and investors that want to do the same thing. So, you know, in a very concentrated distance, you know, from downtown to Harbor Point, you know, in the next couple of years, you could see a you know, dramatic change to the better, I believe.
Absolutely, yes.
For the improvements of that area. Last August, the governor was down at 2nd Street Bistro and
Yes.
handed us a check for $3 million to do
Fantastic.
improvements on Indian River Drive, central utilities around King's Landing, and improving some of the non-vehicular transportation, sidewalks, and things like that. So, you know, being able to improve Indian River Drive, I think,
Yes.
is really critical.
Absolutely.
You know, up to you know, Seaway Drive and the Causeway. So, anyway, it's a beautiful waterfront, and I'm very optimistic that the quality of development will still maintain that old Florida charm.
Sure.
And the sensitive environmental situation
Yes.
surrounding the Indian River Lagoon, and making it a very prosperous and economically viable area.
Absolutely.
It's going to be cool.
It certainly is, and with the new bridge going into North Hutchinson Island as well, we see that's moving forward, which is great to have another egress from the island, which we need with growth coming up the way it is. That's definitely a good sign as well. So yeah, that's fantastic news right there. And as someone who, Christine and I love to go out to eat quite often, we try to stay local and keep our money here as much as possible. What can we do, or what is being done to help bring restaurants to this area? Because there's so much potential. Obviously, the population is here. The high-paying jobs are here as well. Any headway with getting more restaurants into the area?
Well, as we now are in the post-pandemic phase, small business owners, restaurateurs, they're all finding their way.
Yes.
And trying to maintain profitability in
Sure.
an up and down market.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
With regard to inflation
Sure.
and food costs and just the overall cost of doing business.
Absolutely.
God bless all the people that own small businesses and are
That's so
able to
true.
keep their doors open
Yes.
and keep us fed and make a profit.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I probably don't have a whole lot to comment on specific restaurants, but Chris, I wanted to go in the direction that you mentioned with regard to creating quality jobs.
Yeah.
So if people have great jobs and they have discretionary income, they take care of their family, take care of the bills, they're going to go out. They're going to go out to eat, even though it's a lot more expensive.
It
They're gonna
certainly
go out.
is.
And you're starting to see, proliferation of restaurants that are non-chains. That,
Yes.
are smaller bistros and restaurants that cater to the individuals that you're talking about.
Sure.
So we've talked about population, and we've seen a lot of growth there, and the different demographic cohorts, people working age, those that are pre-retirees and retirees, and those that are chronologically gifted like myself. They're finding that this is a great place to live, work, and play. As Christine said.
Absolutely.
So another area that I think bodes well for restaurants and service in the hospitality industry is tourism.
Mm-hmm.
So we need more hotels
Yes.
to accommodate that. But I saw from St. Lucie County Tourism and Marketing, I saw an amazing figure the other day. We had from January to the end of March, we had 275,000 visitors.
Wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, so I mean, if you annualize that, that's over 1 million. And that's been growing
Sure.
double digits ever since the pandemic's been over. But it's pretty fascinating in that a lot of those individuals came from the Northeast, and 7% of them were international.
Oh.
And
Great.
they're spending an average of 6 nights
Wow.
here,
Yeah.
stay, and that economic impact was like $250 million just for 3-4 months.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
So-
That is very impressive.
Yeah, so again, we go back to the reasons why we like St. Lucie County.
Sure.
It's got that old Florida charm.
Yes.
It's the South Florida that people like myself, Greg, you probably remember this too, that why we come here as far as a subtropical environment, the water, the beaches.
Yes.
Well, everybody else has found out about that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and to be able to pull the people, from down south,
Yeah.
especially international, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I know on the real estate side, one of the big reasons, the factors that people come to our area is the crime rate. Being that the crime rate, the lowest per capita at Port St. Lucie in the state of Florida, being it's a safe community, kind of goes hand in hand with bringing more people to the area. and the lack of the traffic. Granted, we're seeing more and more of it, but it's still nothing like down south at Miami, and what they have to deal with that. So we have so many great things and people coming here. As far as the inventory, what we're seeing here, we're still at a shortage for listings year over year. Right now we have about 2.9 months worth of inventory, which we call the absorption rate in real estate. What that means is if no new listings come on the market as of today, that we have 2.9 months of active inventory available for buyers.
That's better than 0.6.
Yes, which we were last year. 100%. You were right about that. And so we're definitely still firmly in a seller's market for sure. And they say about 4 months is where it starts getting gray between seller's market and buyer's market. So to put that into perspective, we have a lot of properties that are being built and a lot of vacant land for people to come and build a home.
Yeah.
You talk about foreign visitors, foreign businesses, a lot of Brazilians. And of course, you can always tell their business. They have the Brazilian flag in it.
Sure.
And they're everywhere. It's amazing, especially Port St. Lucie.
Absolutely.
They're all over the place. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, with some of our good friends, actually, I just sold them a home. I live in Verano, and I sold them a house. They built the new construction in there. The husband, he owns a flooring company, and from Brazil, and he's talking about buying a second home over in Brazil, but said he'll never leave South Florida, and why would he? Yeah. So, but yeah, that's great, and he cooked for us, and that Brazilian steak is, oh my goodness, fantastic.
So what I think I'm hearing over and over is the opportunity to sell your home and then buy another one with the Miret team, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, because that's what I'm hearing. That's the common
Notice
thread.
she's looking at me when she said that. she heard, wait a minute, a little bit of equity in that place. You guys need to move. Oh.
I think everybody needs to list their home.
Enticing properties.
Yeah. I mean, everybody needs to list and buy right now. And
that one that Chris had was pretty big, though. At, what was it, 3,300 square feet?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That was a good size one.
I don't want the kids to come home, so I want to make sure they're really small.
You don't want it to be too comfortable. Well, then we got another one for you. Okay, we got a backup
really small.
plan.
That's how I want it.
So, what are you seeing as far as, or what do you think the housing challenges are? Let's talk a little bit about that. Are there housing challenges in our county that we're dealing with?
Yes, there certainly is, and many people are feeling the pain. Whether it's accelerated rents, increasing rents, or as you both know so well, still the increasing price of the median house here in St. Lucie County. I think we're at 390, excuse me.
Yeah, I was just going to say add 100 to that, yes.
Right now, Chris, you were talking just, 10, 15 years ago when, you get a house for 75, 80,000.
Sure.
We are the affordable housing area for South Florida. Yes. Many people, about 60% of our labor force hops in the car to go someplace else to work every day, and Martin and Palm Beach counties are the recipient of those workers because of the affordability of housing.
Right.
Well, when we compare ourselves to Martin and Palm Beach County and Broward, where they're topping over 600,000, we look pretty good. Yes. However, when we look at a median family income, household income, and average earnings per worker, we got a gap. Yeah. And there's a lot of people hurting either availability of rents, as I mentioned, or finding a home that they can afford.
Sure.
Right.
So this is a structural issue. We've seen Senate Bill 102 that was passed by the Florida legislature and signed by the governor earlier this year, the Live Local Florida Act, may help investors and developers expedite and accelerate the development of both single-family residential homes as well as multifamily. So, Christine, as you mentioned, we got a lot of property. I think it's prudent and reasonable for our local governments to work with quality developments to spark, affordable, attainable workforce housing for
Sure.
our residents and our workers. And I think it can be done in a way that doesn't diminish the environment nor the existing neighborhoods in our community. So
Agreed.
I applaud St. Lucie County, Port St. Lucie, and Fort Pierce because they work together, and they've just completed a needs assessment and an implementation study. All three local governments. They hired a very reputable consulting firm to look at affordable housing practices and remedies to the situation.
Sure.
So that's on our website, youredc.com, under studies and reports for anybody
Excellent.
that's listening and want to take a deeper dive on that. But
Yeah.
we have to fix that issue.
Yes.
It's great that we have a growing community and it's prosperous and there's lots of jobs for individuals. But if their families cannot afford a house or a place to live, it's all for nothing.
Absolutely, and that is a growing concern here, in St. Lucie County and throughout the country, but specifically, in Florida, where so many people are moving in, and so it's good to know that the government is working to find solutions for that issue, and that everyone has a place to live.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that our three local governments work well together. That's not always the case.
It's not always the case.
Right,
No.
so
Yeah.
that's really important.
Very important.
Very
And,
beneficial to our communities.
Absolutely, 100%.
Let's talk a little bit about schools. Is the demo getting younger here? It sounds like it.
well, the median age for St. Lucie County is 43.
Okay.
Which is about the Florida average.
Okay.
And we kind of brand ourselves, or we think of ourselves as a retirement community, but actually our demographic again approximates the whole state of Florida. So we're very lot of diversity, and the age cohorts are pretty well balanced.
Yes.
So we feel good about especially current and future workforce needs, and as far as workforce readiness and having the talent
Yep.
and the ability to train young people to get in the careers and the jobs that are now available.
So that's going to come into the school system, is
Yes.
what I'm hearing, right? So
It already is, yes.
Yeah, so you're going to pivot based on what's coming into our county, and you're going to make those curriculums available in the school system, which is great.
Yes. So, we talked about hopping on a school bus with our school board leaders recently, and we just participated in the groundbreaking of the Triple D, the soon-to-be named high school off of Range Line Road.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's great.
So we got another high school going up, and other schools that are being constructed or will be constructed in the near future. So we have a growing population, and again, I feel good about that. That's optimistic that we have to educate more young people.
Right.
Absolutely, and it's amazing you spoke about Range Line. I had a listing that I sold over in the Treasure Coast Air Park, and it's just amazing going back there off Glades and Range Line. You could see tradition right from there. You don't realize how close Range Line is. I always thought of it being so far out west, but now we're moving out closer towards it, and it's really right there. So that's exciting. When is the high school going to be open? When's the date? Do we have anything at this point?
Well, they had the groundbreaking a couple of weeks ago. I'm thinking it's probably 24 months out.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
That's really not too bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then you look a little bit higher, Indian River State College
Yeah.
is exploding.
Yes.
I mean, Dr. Moore is amazing. He, and the nursing school
Yep.
will double in size this year. And that's just the beginning
Oh, it's exciting.
for his plan.
Yeah, for Indian River State College, the new nursing school will be opened. The grand opening will be August 8th.
Excellent.
Being able to train many more registered nurses and other healthcare practitioners
Excellent.
is so needed.
It
Yes.
certainly is. And I know when IRSC switched from IRCC, and basically, and I use that to sell homes, is you can now start from pre-kindergarten all the way through and get your 4-year degree. And that was such a huge boost for our county when that happened, and now we just see the explosion of it. It's really exciting, and it's just a testament to all the hard work everyone's doing.
Well, and Dr. Moore was talking about potential medical school out there on the Pruitt campus, as well as the nursing. And that's just the beginning. I mean,
Sure.
I was kidding him. I said, okay, so when does this become IRU?
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want the red tape.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's
We
plenty
are
of that
staying
goes with that.
IRSC.
Okay.
So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, simply amazing.
Well, I love hearing about the nursing program because there's such a demand for nurses, and they work so hard. I mean, our healthcare folks just put in endless hours, and it's a tough job. So we have a shortage. There is a demand. We have it's average age of the state of Florida. You said St. Lucie County, but we do have older communities as well, and I think more and more people will migrate to Florida because of the climate and the beaches and our economy, right? It's a strong state.
Yes.
So I love that we're going to have those programs available to our youth and get them prepared to go in and work in the healthcare environment because it's tough.
And Tenet is building a hospital on
that's
Becker
right.
Road.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big
Yeah,
deal. You
that's-
bet.
Yeah, so healthcare is so important to our communities, so I love hearing that.
That is
And-
very exciting.
And you'll also hear some exciting news about HCA Florida, Longwood, and
okay.
St. Lucie Medical Center very soon.
That's good.
Very positive.
Ooh, I
news.
like the tease. Okay.
I like
That's
that.
excellent.
I like that. So tell us a little bit about if people want to get involved and who would get involved in the EDC, right? The Economic Development Council. So I know local businesses, there's a lot of movers and shakers that are part of your organization. There's a lunch every month. A lot of the top people within our communities are involved in your group. So how do people get involved?
Well, thanks for my plug, Christine. I appreciate that. Just a little bit for your listeners. The Economic Development Council is a private nonprofit corporation. We call ourselves a public-private partnership in that we have what we call investors, which are members. We have about 200 investors, and they're all different types of businesses and individuals, banks, utilities, hospitals, manufacturers, real estate, engineers, developers, etc.
Yeah.
And then we also have contracts to do economic development services with our 2 municipalities in the county.
Okay.
So we have a board of directors of 39 business people.
Excellent.
Again, they are all different industry sectors. Again, our mission is to help create quality employment opportunities for the community.
Yes.
And, part of that is spreading the gospel, if you will, that successful communities that have robust economies have a game plan
Yes.
Yeah.
to get there, and we do.
Absolutely.
So we work very hard being in the trenches, working with companies to grow and expand, but we're also very, very much involved in the public policy aspect about, how do we keep this a viable, vibrant community, and how do we make this work for our families and residents. So go to our website, youredc.com. There's a lot of information on there. Christine, as you mentioned, about our lunches and our events and what we do, and we invite everyone to take a look at that and give us a call.
Yeah, and always great information when I've went to the lunches, right? There's always guest speakers that tell us a lot of good stuff about our community and the development and the growth and just educate us.
So August 8th, Tuesday is our next lunch, and we have Cleveland Clinic, Florida International University, and Florida
FIU.
Atlantic University talking
Wow.
about healthcare, life sciences, and the proliferation of biotechnology here in the Treasure Coast.
That is very
It's gonna be
exciting
cool.
news. That is a really cool lunch. Well, we can mark us down for 2 on that one. Well, thank you so much, Pete, for joining us.
Yeah,
and
this has been great.
yes, what an inspiration, and thank you for all your hard work that you're bringing all these businesses and keeping the businesses going here in St. Lucie County. It's really exciting. Again, Chris Miret, you could reach me for Keller Williams 772-201-9115.
Let's go look at that house.
Absolutely, let's go, Pete. I can
I'll
get us
take
in.
you, Pete. And I'm Christine Stonecipher. You can reach me at 772-971-7111.
And Pete, how do we get in touch with you?
That's Pete Tesh, St. Lucie County Economic Development Council, 772-812-0623.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble.
My cell phone's all over the place.
And you've been listening to Real Estate Sales Talk with Christine and Chris, right here on WPSL Port St. Lucie. Talk to the Treasure Coast, webcaster